Some stories are predictable and intentional. People, make decisions and try to do things. Ours was an unexpected twist. We call it a God intervention. It was pure. It was unassuming. It was innocent. Just two little heartbeats. We were familiar since we were kids. Two little lives from the same small town, streets, school, neighborhood. I was 8, he was 9, almost 10. And that's when the first little butterflies stirred. It wasn't romance, not anything grown up, just innocent, unexplainable feelings. That he made my heart flutter, that when he was around, the world just brightened. His sandy red hair, his turning flips in the grass. We hung out in the same places, shared the same circle of friends. We laughed the same laughs at school. And somewhere in between the lines, we believe that there was an unseen hand of God already scripting something together for us that we weren't going to read until later.
Okay. There was something about her smile and those dimples that made me smile and feel good inside. I don't want to sound crazy, but I had the feeling of joy and excitement, like a little kid with a big bag of sweets. And at that time, I just wanted to make her mine. But something happened. I'm now 10, and instead of receiving the joy of a candy bag filled with sweets, I had to accept the fact that I couldn't have my sweets at this time. It's tied up, it's protected, it's out of my reach.
Something changed in his eyes. Does he see me anymore? Because the glances have gotten shorter, and that light in his eyes is hidden. And what? He was my cousin? I was now also bound to these hidden boundaries. Time moved forward. We grew, we married, we raised wonderful children, we carried heartaches too that nobody else could see. Both of us lived full lives, but deep inside we still felt connected. Life is scattered us all in different paths, but God was still weaving something none of us could see.
Life moved on, or at least it looked like it did. I married, worked hard, raised children. I felt like the opportunity was too far and gone. I embraced the path that I had chose.
30 years after high school, we crossed paths again. We both volunteered to help plan our 30-year reunion. It was easy, it was natural, it was friendly. No awkwardness, no intentions whatsoever, just pure camaraderie. We worked together, we laughed together, we helped conduct those events together with the rest of our classmates that helped plan. Our daughters, we found out, were attending the same college, and we had no idea until then how connected we still were.
The moment I knew she hadn't forgotten, planning this reunion was just bringing the feelings back, the good feelings and the days for me. It was a chance, not a romantic one, just to be near her again, to see a friendship could still feel natural when we ended up laughing together, sitting together. It felt like old times, real easy, safe. But when she jumped out in the middle of that Soul Train line with me at the Saturday morning event from the school reunion, laughing, moving, the same light in her eyes, something stirred in me and us. Even if she didn't know it, even if she thought we were just cousins, I kept my distance, but inside my hope quietly reawakened.
At the reunion brunch, this spontaneous dance line had formed, so without thinking, we both jumped in. Actually, he was dancing down the line, and I didn't want to go by myself, so I jumped in. It was playful, it was innocent, and it was full of laughter, really. We danced side by side, and we have this video of us, and he was dancing around me, spinning, laughing. He was twirling his towel, his signature towel that he always has. The crowd was like excited. Everybody laughed and cheered. It was just pure joy. I mean, nothing was spoken. It wasn't anything suspicious. It was just a moment. And I kind of tucked that away quietly in my heart. I fought back to these overwhelming feelings that I wasn't able to explain. I couldn't wish them away either.
The last slow song started.
Oh, yeah, and y'all were
I
partying and
almost didn't
singing.
go. 30 years of keeping my distance had trained me well, but something in me whispered, if not now, when? I crossed the floor. My heart raced. I offered her my hand. Would you like to dance? She smiled. I reassured her it wouldn't be nothing crazy. She got up, we danced. Not too close, not too distant, but closer than we would ever imagine. The space between us was filled with everything we could not say. Our eyes met once, twice, 3 times a lady. Each time we glanced away and smiled. No drama, no public spectacles, just 2 people who fit perfectly, finally shared a chance we hadn't even known we'd waited for.
So Sunday morning, our final reunion event was a church service at his home church. I got there early. I didn't want to be late. He did too. He was already there, and the class president and her guests were there as well. The rest of her class, well, delayed. So by no plan of our own, we sat side by side near the center of the sanctuary. The music was playing, the choir was singing. The Holy Spirit moved. I tried to stay composed, but as the worship rose, it wasn't even about what they were singing. Tears just started sliding silently down my cheeks. I wiped them quickly, and then I glanced sideways and saw him. Were those tears? No dramatics, just honest worship. And perhaps something more. A silent conversation passed between us of gratitude, of grief. We were touching the hem of something holy, maybe, knowing that whatever had stirred awake was actually bigger than us. We worshiped side by side, both, I'm going to say, solemnly accepting that the end of the road was here again.
She sat beside me in the sanctuary. Filled with choir music, she sang, I sang. But beneath the music, my heart carried a silent plea. God, if this is still not your time, I will no longer wait. Just help me not break. When I noticed her wiping tears, my own fell. Quiet, controlled, but real. I wanted to reach for her hand. I didn't. I wanted to whisper the truth. I didn't. Simply, we worshiped because I was hiding all the things I wanted to tell her. It was a bittersweet moment of enjoyment, but reflecting on the last 3 days, the same feeling we've had since we were kids, we have to let it go again.
Now, by Monday morning, the weight of it all became too much. I messaged him. I said, would you mind telling the photographer not to post that picture of me and you after church? I think he thinks we're together. And I don't want anything misconstrued, especially not with my cousin. Like, if it's going to come out, let it be the real thing. And I never understood how I could have butterflies for my cousin. I blurted out. A pause. Then he replied in the text, cousin? You're not my cousin. My breath caught. What do you mean? I asked. Then the truth came out. He told me about the Christmas gift, the bicycle ride across town, the knock at my door, my mother answering gently, turning him away. He was 10. The words she spoke to him were just to protect me. And then she told me, he's your cousin. And I had believed it. Built decades of distance between us on those words. He had known the truth, and out of respect and out of love, he has stayed silent. He never told me.
Her messages came. She was worried about a photo, worried about what others might think, worried because you're my cousin. That word that had stolen so much from us. But now, the time had come to set it right. Cousins? You're not my cousin. It was the simplest sentence, but it broke 40 years of silence. When she asked what I meant, the memories rushed in. The Christmas ride, the cold, the knock. She never heard her mother's kind refusal at the door. I told her everything. Not too much pressure, not to sway her, just to give her the truth at last about what happened a long time ago.
You gotta tell the story. You gotta tell the story a little bit.
Okay. It was cold. I can remember. Christmas morning, me and one of my good friends, we got bikes for Christmas. And the preparation of giving a gift to somebody that I had a mad crush on, my oldest sister Sheila helped me pick out a necklace from Walmart. It wasn't very expensive, but it was from a little change I had made from picking up beer cans and soda cans. But Christmas morning, I was going to ride into the sunset and take a gift to my crush. And as I arrived at the house and knocked on the door, I asked, "Is Darneish here?" And a nice-looking lady came to the door. I assumed it was her mother, and I found out it was a mother who told me, "Darneish is here, but you have to leave here." So I left out of respect. And then I never told Darneish.
Yeah. And she was trying to they used to tell people that they were cousins to keep them from doing, trying to have boyfriend, girlfriend stuff going on. We were like 8 and 10 too, so we didn't have no business being boyfriend and girlfriend. But still. So that day, our conversation stretched out across hours, mostly text messaging. We talked about our past. We talked about our daughters because they happened to be going to the same college. One daughter was in her first semester. One was in her last at the same school. And of course, he wouldn't have known that. He didn't have social media. I didn't know what was happening in his life, but we talked about that, and we talked about all the lost years, which we don't consider lost. We talked about the dance that we had, both of them, the tears in church, the ache that we had always had that lingered. He drove home across hours of road in Texas, and mile after mile, our words were just stitching together our story that we had waited a long time to write and to be told. We laughed. We mourned the lost time, but then we rejoiced because the truth had finally been spoken. And the truth, once spoken, just never goes back into hiding. We know that, we had a different life or path, but we appreciated the family and the children and our experiences in life. But now it made us appreciate even more what was happening.
The drive home should have felt long, but it didn't. We messaged the entire way. Bridges passed beneath my tires. The sun sank lower, but my heart lifted higher for once. I wasn't waiting in the silence. I was walking, or rather driving into the truth we both deserved. She marveled, I marveled. We mourned, we rejoiced. The years had not been lost. They had been kept preserved for this moment.
Today, I no longer call it a coincidence. I call it a kept promise, a secret, divine intervention, a love that was hidden for decades under the wrong name, a friendship guarded by respect and honor, a heartache stitched invisibly into our lives until God himself said, now is the time. We're not starting something new. We're stepping into something that was always ours. Protected, preserved, but now it's revealed. Every day we walk forward hand in hand, with laughter, with gratitude, with awe. It's a miracle of love, a story that waited a long time, almost a lifetime to be told. So, to our children, we don't have regrets about anything. Y'all are the most beautiful part of our story, and the years that we've had over the last 4 decades have taught us more than we could have ever learned. And actually, I think I can say I'm thankful for where we are now and our experiences. We'll never forget those moments that we had, the years that we were apart. They were important to shaping our character, helping us become the people we are. And we have the children as the beautiful part of that story, the most beautiful part of that story.
You know, God does all things for different reasons. To love, to laugh, to live. Our children. You all are so very important to us. Together, this is even a bigger family. And we ask for your blessings, and we share our blessings with you, like we always have, and we will continue to. We'll let God provide and paste us all together with love and joy and happiness. And we can do this. We love you. We love each other. We love life. We love God, and God loves us.